What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a tier list ranking of Conquest characters. We are just going to be focusing on the characters, not the ships. The ships are really kind of tricky to compare against characters. Maybe down the road I could do like a YouTube short or something with ranking the Conquest ships. But we're just going to be focusing on the Conquest characters. We've gotten quite a few, and right now we are about to unlock Jocasta Nu through this new season of Conquest. And then we'll see who we get after that. But I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on how good these Conquest characters are, what the issues are with them if they're bad, what's really good about them if they're good, and I want to also hear from you guys if you guys agree with the rankings as I put them through in this video. So if you guys do end up enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive right into it. Let's start with Admiral Trench, and we're going to put him in D tier. Trench is one of the worst Conquest characters in the game. He has Territory War Omicrons, which do not help, but even then, he's not really beating anybody, and a lot of the characters you're using on his team, like he kind of brings in scraps of Separatist teams, but most Separatist characters are going to other teams. Jango Fett's going with Bounty Hunters. You have Count Dooku, but Count Dooku's not going to really transform this team. We do have a Count Dooku Datacron this season, but again, I don't think that's really going to make Trench any good, and we don't want to be relying on Datacrons for these unit rankings anyways, because that's just a borrowed power system. It's just here for a few months, and then it's gone again. So we don't really want to focus on Datacrons too much. And the other one I want to put down here as well is going to be Boba Fett, Scion of Jango. He's got an absolutely incredible Datacron right now, and it kind of sucks because he's by far the worst Conquest character, but seeing what he can do with that Datacron on is just like, man, like, kind of gives that hope that maybe we're going to get a rework to him in the future. We've seen this before with Datacrons where they get certain powers for characters or teams, and then that Datacron is worked into the team's permanent power somehow. So fingers crossed that they do use this to buff Boba Fett, Scion of Jango, and that maybe we get him as like a Darth Bane team with him and Fennec Shand. Like, that would be great, because Fennec's going to be losing her power as a counter to Lord Vader anyways. CG has very clearly said that they will not allow Fennec to be a counter to Lord Vader anymore. So, you know, maybe we get a Darth Bane type team with her and Fennec, and we get something there. I would love to see that, but right now the power is not there with Boba Fett. He is really, really bad, and yeah, we'll see what goes on from there. So next up is Ben Solo. I'm gonna put him in C tier. He's high C, low B. I may throw him into B as we go along here. The issue that I have with Ben Solo is that he's great on the raid team, but he just kind of stands there.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
Like, he doesn't do a lot. He's just there to be annoying and to just constantly revive. And while he's alive, Rey cannot be defeated. And he just kind of sits there. He doesn't really do much besides just being an annoyance. I've never, like, you can buff up his damage, but it's still not a lot. His GAC Omicrons do allow him to, like, ignore protection. You get the constant revives with it. But outside of the Rey team, you're not really going to find a use for him. He's not... He can try fit him into a Seer Junda team, but there's a lot of better damage dealers, including 2 Conquest characters that are on this list that will probably find a better home with Seer Junda. Actually, one of them has. The other one probably will. But yeah, he's just kind of there. And I've never really felt like, you know, outside of him just being an annoying character, he doesn't really do much to really kind of be a threat just beyond, okay, I've got to kill him, and then I kill Rey. Like, that's it. And yeah, that's just kind of where I am with him. Unimpressed outside the fact that he's just makes the Rey team annoying to fight. Next up is going to be Commander Ahsoka, and we're going to throw her into A tier. Now, once upon a time, you could probably make the argument that she could be an S tier. Unfortunately, we're starting to see some diminished power with her capabilities. She does make the Jedi Master Kenobi Galactic team work, Galactic Legend Jedi Master Kenobi team work. It's simply because of her instant defeat that she has, the Xi'an ability that she puts out, the fact that she gives buffs to light side allies and Galactic Republic allies. You can also, if you don't have Jedi Master Kenobi, you can use her as a Padme Amidala team. Really does lift the Padme team. Can't like defeat Galactic Legends, but does make the Padme team more deadly. So you do have that with her, but the reason why she's kind of falling down in power for me and why she's not deserving of the S rank anymore is that we have so many teams these days coming out with instant defeat immunity, just pretty much countering the big thing that Ahsoka brings with her kit. And I do want to give a shout out here that she does not have any Omicrons. She and Maul are the only two Conquest characters here without Omicrons, but beyond that, like, you're not really yeah, with so many characters getting the instant defeat immunity, even Bad Batch, the new Bad Batch team has it. Yeah, it's just that a lot of teams and characters are coming out these days that are countering her, and that's kind of diminishing her power. She's getting power crept. She's still very good. She's still deserving of the A rank. She lifts that Jedi Master Kenobi team and makes them strong. But because of so many teams getting that instant defeat immunity, her time as one of the best Conquest characters is pretty much setting right now. So next up on here, we have Darkside Vision Rey, and she is going S tier. She is the newest Conquest character that we have in the game, and the ability to lift Supreme Leader Kylo Ren to be one of the best offensive teams in Grand Arena does give them some defensive viability as well, which was sorely needed with the team because they were just terrible on defense. But the ability to make it so that you have a Darth Bane type situation where you have just Supreme Leader Kylo Ren plus Darkside Vision Rey, and that you can use them as duos against multiple galactic legends is just frankly absurd. I've seen two-mans against Jabba and against Leia with just these two characters. Very reliably beats the Rey team that also includes Ezra on there. This can walk right over Jedi Master Kenobi teams if you know what you're doing. This is, quite frankly, one of the best offensive teams inside of Grand Arena now, and it's all due to her Omicrons, where no allies on her team can be defeated until she moves. She gives the ability to reset turn meter on everybody on the field. She also applies an unresistible and undispellable shock to the enemy team, and also is able to counteract the unique with Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, where he's reducing the max health on your allies as they gain turn meter. Well, now if they get debuffed, they lose turn meter, which then means they gain extra max health and max protection. So she really does lift this team, gives them some nice viability for defense, though they are still a little susceptible on defense, but turns them into an absolute powerhouse on offense, where that team was already pretty good, but now it's one that you just save for offense because you know that you can use just Kylo Ren and just Rey, beat up multiple teams, save yourself some manners. The power that she has here is absolutely insane. And speaking of insane characters, next up is Darth Bane, S tier. This is by far the best Conquest character we have gotten in the game. Really transformed things. Ironically, was marketed as a lifter for the Sith Eternal Emperor, and then it ended up being where he made his own team. And really was more Sith Eternal Emperor is kind of a lifter for Darth Bane than it is the other way around. Bane is just incredibly good. Bonus turn at the start of the match, the Rule of Two ability giving him so much max health and protection, and the bonus offense, the bonus turn, the AoE attack with his Omicron, which can reduce enemy cooldowns by 2, which is just incredible. This one is a counter to pretty much any team that you're going to find on defense. Only one that does cause it some issues is Rey from time to time, but the Jedi Master Kenobi, as long as you have the Sith Empire Trooper there to eat up Ahsoka's instant defeat, then you're pretty much set at that point. This team is just so good. Bane is so good, and the fact that you just need to build one other character with him, and you can use the scraps of any Sith team. A lot of people use Sith Assassin or the Sith Empire Trooper because you had to build them up for Leviathan, and then they don't really have a home. You can also use Count Dooku because you have to take him to Relic 8, and when his Sith ally dies, Bane gains more power based on the relic level of the ally who dies. So high relic Sith characters that you're not using on another team, perfect for this. I think Bane is going to be one of the best, not one of the best Conquest character for a very long time. And next up we have Malgus, and I'm putting him in B tier. Now, Malgus has dropped off in power recently. He used to be the best defensive team in Grand Arena, very hard to defeat. And then when we were introduced to Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, that really set the sun on his viability as a defensive team. We've gotten better teams now that just kind of roll over him. The new Bad Batch absolutely demolishes any Malgus teams you fight on defense. This is one that you're now using more for offense, but what's going to separate him and why he's down here in B tier, not higher up, is this is about the breakpoint of where we're getting into characters that allow you to beat Galactic Legends. And this is one that you cannot beat Galactic Legends with him on offense. And defense, you can very easily beat him with several Galactic Legends now. Jedi Master Luke demolishes Malgus now thanks to Jedi Cal Kestis. So the defensive viability of Malgus has long set, especially in the higher leagues, and that will start to slowly trickle its way down the leagues as we go more and more into the future with new, better characters. And offense, he's pretty good on offense. He can beat your Inquisitor teams. He can beat Great Mothers. He's pretty good on offense. He can beat a handful of strong defensive teams, but no Galactic Legends in his in the ability to kind of be viable on offense. So that's why he's down here in B tier, and this is going to be the break point here, and we're going to go ahead and put the other character I've got here in B tier as well, and that's going to be Luthen Rael. Now, I've got Luthen just higher than Malgus for the simple reason that Luthen lifts the Mon Mothma team to levels where they can counter multiple Galactic Legends. Against a raid team without Ezra, they can defeat that. They can defeat Jedi Master Luke. They can beat Leia. And I had a video yesterday talking about how the new Mon Mothma Kron turns them into an absolute menace in offense. And that's just in Squad Arena, not in Grand Arena. But that's not necessarily making them beat Galactic Legends they haven't before. You can beat Leia, you can beat Rey, you can beat Jedi Master Luke without the Omicrons with Luthen Rael. That's nothing new. And so that Datacron's probably going to turn them into more of like being able to beat Inquisitors or some teams that get a lot of bonus turn meter. Now they've got their own ability to get lots of more bonus turn meter. So Luthen really does lift that Mon Mothma team to be a viable counter to several Galactic Legend teams. That's why I've got him here. This is kind of the dividing point where the teams above Malgus start to really beat multiple Galactic Legends. That's where that break point is here. Now next up is going to be Ezra, and Ezra is just S tier. I've got him above Darkside Vision Rey. Ezra is one of the newer ones. We got Ezra and Darkside Vision Rey are two newest Conquest characters that we have. Jocasta will have here shortly. But Ezra is just plain annoying. You throw him onto any team on defense, and I swear to God, that dude just does not die.
Die! Why won't you die?
Now, I did want to give a shout out. If you do end up running into someone who's got Ezra on like a raid team, it does open up the Galactic Legend Ahsoka team to be very easily beatable by Luthen, but I don't think you're going to have many people do that because Ezra does make that Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano team. So just something to keep an eye on. If someone doesn't have Ezra on that Ahsoka team, Luthen Rael with Rebel Fighters will easily beat that. But anyways, back to Ezra. The dude just is super annoying. He gives the Exile, you can't assist. He gets Stacking Mastery, which then allows him to just dodge everything. So if you don't have unavoidable attacks, he becomes very difficult to fight against. The dude is just a nightmare to fight on defense. He makes teams viable on defense. The Rey team with Solo and with Ezra in 3v3, that keeps me up at night. I know I'm not the only one. He's just annoying. Just really, really annoying to fight against. And that's why I've got him up here. And he's also this lifter for Ahsoka team. Like without Ahsoka or without Ezra on the Ahsoka team, that much like Commander Ahsoka Tano, Ezra makes the Ahsoka team. Kind of controversial in my opinion. I don't like the idea of having a lifter with several GAC Omicrons have to make a team viable, but it is what it is. So next up, we're going to have Maul, and Maul we're putting up at A tier. Now, I'm putting him at the end of A tier. There's a couple other A tier characters that are going to go up here. And Maul is good. He is a lifter for Lord Vader, but the sun is setting on that. We have the new Darkside clone troopers that are making the Lord Vader team much better. And then the question then becomes, what do we do with Maul? And there's two solid options. You can use Maul inside of a Seer Junda team with Terran Malicos, who we're also just going to go ahead and put him up here in A tier as well. We'll talk about him in a second. But yeah, both these are Darkside unaligned Force users. Both of them have really strong attacks And I think that Maul's going to have a home on the Seer Junda team if you have him built up and you're not using him with Lord Vader anymore. You can also use him in what we call the Maul DeLoreans, which is Maul with a couple of Darkside Mandalorian characters, primarily being Gar Saxon and Imperial Super Commando, where the constant assist with those two characters can just wipe out multiple characters at once. I've seen it used against Jedi Master Kenobi teams. I have not personally built up my Maul, so this is one that I can't speak from personal experience, but seeing what players have out there, what they're able to do with Maul, there's still viable options for him. So even if you're using him with Lord Vader and you're getting rid of him, or you're getting rid of him off the Lord Vader team because of the new Darkside clones, which are going to make Lord Vader way more viable, this is one I think that, yeah, even though you're not going to use him with Lord Vader, you're still going to have a home for him in a couple different places. If you've got those Darkside Mandalorians built up, he's going to have a home there, but you probably got Seer Junda built up, and he's going to fit right into that team, no problem at all. And next up is Taron Malicos, who was a very good lifter for the Seer Junda team and turned them into a very viable Galactic Legend counter team inside of Grand Arena, namely being Rey. If there is no Ezra on the enemy team, again, good old Ezra, kind of making things annoying, Seer Junda can very easily counter a Rey team. This is one that also can beat many non-Galactic Legend teams on defense as well. The Seer Junda lead gives them the stacking offense and everything as enemy teams take turns before they're able to take a turn. And then Taron Malicos gains stacks of Edge of Madness. He has his rock throw that deals a ton of damage, that has a unresistible stun, and then he can just stack up turn meter as well as allies take damage. Just so much offensive capabilities with this dude. They can be solid on defense, but I think for myself and what I see a lot of other people do is we save him for offense, and Taron just turns the unaligned Force user team into a real menace that can beat some Galactic Legends and really just absolutely great on offense. So next up we're going to have Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. I'm putting him in C tier. The last of the Territory War Omicrons here. Thankfully they started to move away from this. Pretty much all of your bottom characters are Territory War Omicrons, and that was not intentional. It's not that I hate Territory War Omicrons, it's just that these characters, Territory Wars is not as big a game mode as Grand Arena. Territory War definitely needs a rework in terms of its systems, but Dark Trooper Moff Gideon has some strong power with his lead, where he can punish teams that gain a lot of extra bonus turn meter, but it doesn't turn him into a viable Galactic Legend counter inside of Grand Arena. They're pretty solid inside of Territory War, but it's not transforming any type of team that you're really going to put them onto. We've got some new Imperial Remnants, but those have their own lead with Captain Enoch. You're using Dark Trooper Moff Gideon with like his own Imperial Remnant characters. You're kind of splitting them up between the two teams, but he's pretty good on offense, but he's not transformative in the way that like Malgus was or Ben Solo was. You're not really getting a huge boost to that team. I mean, Ben Solo is just kind of there, but Malgus really does turn the team into an offensive powerhouse and makes them a little scary on defense sometimes, but you're not really getting that with Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, especially inside of Grand Arena. And finally, we have Padme Amidala. She's A tier. Now, this is one that I've got up at the top of A tier, and I think this is one that's going to be controversial. It's not because of the Battle of Naboo raid, because that one, we're seeing the sunset on that already. It's more that what it requires to beat a Padme Amidala team or not Padme Amidala, but Queen Amidala team is what puts her up here at the top of A tier. And also, she can be used on offense to counter some Galactic Legends as well, but normally you're putting her on defense, and she requires some strong teams to beat on defense, and usually what people are having to do is spend their Darth Bane. Now, that will change with Bad Batch. Bad Batch can beat the Queen Amidala team, but it is dicey. I do not feel as comfortable with that as I would say like Bane. So when you have to use something like Bane to get a guaranteed win against a Queen Amidala team, or God forbid you have to drop a Galactic Legend, that's a pretty strong defensive team. Like that shows just how strong she is on defense currently. Of course, it does help that we have to use her for Battle for Naboo, but like I said before, not really factoring that into this because that's just a temporary game mode, and in the next couple of months, we won't be using that team anymore because we'll have the new raid out, and that's going to require other characters. So that's kind of where I'm at with Queen Amidala. Very good, incredibly strong on defense, able to beat Galactic Legends on offense. That's where I'm at this point. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of these tier rankings? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think I got something wrong here? Let me know down below. As always, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys next time.